Yo, what's good, fam? Agent O here with another action figure review, and today I have the Figma One Punch Man Genos. I've been waiting quite a while for this figure just because I wanted to have him with Saitama, and now he's out, so here I'm reviewing it. And you know, as usual, the box art on Figma and most other action figures that are import figures is about the same. You've got artwork on each side of the box, details and all kinds of different writing and whatnot, so you can tell the legitimacy of this. There's no seal of approval on Figma boxes though, which is kind of weird because you would assume there would be, seeing as there are bootlegs of Figma figures online on eBay. So I don't know, but I bought this from a reputable source, so I know it is not a bootleg. So that being said, let's get into the review. And here we go, we've got Genos right here on deck. Just gotta get him to stand. My desk is kind of at an angle, so everything leans kind of forward, so I have to compensate for that. Anyway, as far as like the aesthetics on this guy, I really don't have anything to like say overly negative about it. I mean, unless you're the kind of person that likes a lot of paint apps on their figures, I can go either way. It depends on the figure and the art style and what it's trying to emulate. And since this is trying to emulate an anime, or you know, an animated TV show, then I don't really mind the fact that that he doesn't have a whole lot of paint apps. Most of this is cast in its original color. As you can see with the face, I think the face sculpt looks pretty good. Looks pretty accurate to the anime. I do like the sculpt of the hair, and they at least tried to hide the seam where the two halves of the face and the back of the head and the front of the head come apart for you to change the face plates. They at least tried to hide it. It's still a little noticeable if you look, but they did a decent job trying to make it look as seamless as possible. But yeah, I mean, even with this, there isn't a whole lot of paint apps, but what they did put on looks good, and it doesn't look, there's no slop. There's like no slop whatsoever on this figure. You know, there's some darker grays in the arms and black in the holes and whatnot, so you know, there's very little done, and I'm okay with this. Once again, it's supposed to look like an anime, so it's, you know, there's not a whole lot of range of colors, you know, used in animation cells, especially in anime. It's usually always 3 tones and all that. So anyway, moving on to the articulation. Because of the sculpt of his hair, you're not going to get a whole lot of backwards. Not going to get him to look up a whole lot, but you can get him to look down rather decent. And since the neck at the base of the chest is on a ball joint, you can get him to look down further. So there is that. You can also finagle the ball joint. I turned it backwards. I don't know if you can't really see. I'll take it apart so you can see a bit better. But yeah, this is I turned it, I kind of angled it back a bit so that I got a little bit more range to tilt his head. But you can play around with it and figure out what works best for you. As for the arms, he's got this like double ball joint, ball socket. Like he's got a double ball swiveled ball joint. I don't know, but it allows him to move his arm forward, and you got rotation. You got full rotation all the way around, and you know, you got a lot of whoops. And this is something I'm going to get to in a little bit, but I'm actually happy that happened, so you can see how easy that is to fall apart. It's intentional, but it's also annoying, but I'll get to that in a sec. He does have bicep swivel. He has single, single double peg joint in the elbow, and you get that much of a bend. Of course, same deal with the hands at the wrist. So since he's not a bulky figure, there's no limitations in his range of motion. He has torso swivel. You get good range, good back, and pretty good. Whoops. I'll just leave that there for now. You get him. You can get him to lean back a bit. He leans forward a lot more. You can get him to lean forward about that far. Once again, put this back together. Actually, no, I'll keep it apart because I want to show the articulation, how it's articulated in the waist. It's on a ball joint, so you can get it to rotate all the way around, like so. And you can twist it around since it's on a ball joint. I'm guessing it's a ball joint, I can't really see it. But yeah, the two halves come apart like so, and you just kind of gotta stick it back together and hope it stays. But most of the time it doesn't. That's a huge drawback on the figure, and I kind of wish they had just used a large ball joint or ball socket instead, so that it's a bit more secure when you put the two halves, the upper and the lower parts of the body together. But moving on to the hips, you've got ball jointed hips, and you can get pretty decent split like so. And you've got the exposed thigh swivel, but good rotation. Single jointed knees, but because, like I said, he's not a bulky figure, you get a really good bend at the knee. And at first, when I started messing around with this figure, I thought there was little to no ankle articulation, and I was like, well, why'd they even, because he wears skinny jeans or whatever, or why'd you even bother putting the joints in there since you can't really move them? But you kind of got to play around with it. You can't get, if you pull the foot back and then bend it up, then you can get some bend. You can get a bit of a bend. Same deal, if you get it behind that fold of the pant leg, then you can get him to toe point as well. And you can also get some ankle rockage like so. And of course he's got the toe point. So I mean, there is some, you can work it, and there is some articulation in there. So it would have helped when I was shooting pictures to figure that out then, instead of well after I got done, because I don't like to force my figures, because once again, they're imports and they're expensive. For me, they're expensive, and I don't want to risk damaging them because I really don't want to spend the time to buy a replacement figure. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the articulation, other than the hip, the deliberate hip displacement mechanic that they put in this figure. Otherwise, he's got good range of motion. There shouldn't be any poses that you can't get him in. So it works in that sense. So I'm going to move on to the accessories. The first one I'm going to talk about is the fixed seating position accessory. As you can see, it has the same peg shape as the legs do. So you just pull them apart and stick him on, and now he's sitting pretty. So you have that. I don't know, I mean, this isn't bad, but I kind of wish they had, instead of giving us that, they could have given us like another set of arms that you could have, because you know Genos goes through some different different upgrades in the show, and it would have been cool to get a different set of arms. This is kind of like his base set of arms, and then he gets like cooler ones as the show goes, as the first season went on, or as the manga goes on. So would have been kind of cool to get another set of arms instead of that. He does have these hand blast effect pieces, and these look pretty cool. Good, nice translucent plastic. It's clear at the tips, which is really cool. It's kind of a little bit cloudy as it goes in, but it's a nice little gradation as it goes from one color scheme to the next. The pegs on here are fixed, which kind of sucks, but all you gotta do is just rotate them around in the hand, and you can have him pointing. You can have it so he's pointing his hands forward, shooting forward, or you can have it to where it's pointing down, so he's doing kind of like an Iron Man type flying type deal. So yeah, you have these, and these are fine as well. You also have this effect piece. This is to show that is like, you know, if you want to make it look like he's taking battle damage. And the way you get this on is I guess you take off this peg, which is to prevent the peg hole from shrinking. And since the bicep swivel is just a peg, you just pull the arm off. And you can do this on either arm, doesn't matter. I'm just doing it on the left arm because I'm right-handed, and you just stick it on like so, and you're good to go. Now it looks like he's taking battle damage. You couple that with his battle damage face, which I'll show in a little bit, and you can make it look like he's taking a beating, because that happens to him quite a bit in the anime, even though he's really powerful. And if you want to take it a step further, you can pull him apart, and it looks like he's taking a lot of damage, and he's, you know, on the ground struggling, still trying to fight or whatever. You can put a blast effect hand on there on the working hand, and it looks like he's still trying to put up a fight, even though he's taking excessive amount of damage. So yeah, I mean, this I do like. This is cool. It's a nice little accessory piece, and you know, it pertains to the character so pretty nicely. So yeah, I dig that. As for his, he also comes with this broom, because, you know, he's since Saitama kind of swindled him into pretty much being his personal housekeeper in the show. Yeah, he has a broom, and the broom comes apart at the broom head. You just slide the holding things hands in there, put the broom back together, and you can make it look like he's sweeping. So there's that. Once again, that's cool, but it would have been nice to get another set of arms to switch out, or even an arm effect piece where he combines both his arms into one giant blaster. That would have been nice too. But here's the battle damage face. Get a little closer so you can see some of the detail. And I think it looks pretty good. And then here's his stressed out, angry face. Also looks pretty nice. Nothing to complain there. And he comes with 2 extra sets of hands on the hand tree. I'll always big this up because I think this is such a cool idea. I wish more companies would do that. You know, he has his holding things hands, and he has his, you know, flexed, posed hands. These look pretty nice. You can see his repulsor blast looking circles on his hands. So yeah, I mean, sadly that's all the hands he comes with. But I can't think of any other hands he would really need. So I think this works. And of course, last but not least, the Figma poly bag. I'll always big this thing up because I wish more companies once again would do this, so that you can have some place to at least keep some of the accessories. So that's pretty much it with what he comes with, and that's pretty much it for this figure. It's a standard release. Once again, it would have been nice to get a few more accessories with this guy. Just stuff that pertains to more of the action-oriented aspect of the character. Would have been cool to get stuff like, you know, extra arms, maybe some more blast effect pieces, that sort of thing. But yeah, other than that, I mean, overall, it's a solid figure. I'm happy I got him. But you know, of course, I'm always wanting more. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. If you like what you saw, please leave a like or subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Is this worth getting? Maybe it's worth passing up and getting the McFarlane Toys version. If it's already dropped, I can't remember. I know I've seen pictures. I don't remember if the toys actually came out or not. But I like Figma. I like what they do. I like the way they stylize their figures, and their, you know, of course, obviously they're best known for doing anime characters. So I just wanted to keep it in line with the other, with any other One Punch Man toys that they end up coming out with, if they do pursue that. So anyway, that's gonna do it. I will catch you guys on the next one. I am Agent O, and I'm out. Peace.